All right, good morning, my lovely students. I hope you guys just doing fine. Today we are going to proceed with our explanation regarding writing and essay about advantages and disadvantages. So let me now share the presentation with you in order to proceed with our explanation. But before proceeding, we are going to have a quick revision regarding what we took yesterday. So I believe that you guys have the screen in front of you right now, and it is regarding writing an essay about advantages and disadvantages. In yesterday's class, we discussed the definition of the word advantage, and we said it is a state or a circumstance, an opportunity which is favorable. Okay, here which is favorable, and this was the key word to success, interest, or any desired result. And we said that we have here a couple of synonyms for it, which is a benefit, a gain, a profit. And also we discussed the opposite word of the word advantages, which is disadvantage, regarding the prefix that we have, that, and it is this, and it gives the opposite meaning of the main word advantage. And here we said it is a state that is unfavorable circumstance or a condition. And here we said also we talked about the structure of writing our essay. So we said that if we want to write an essay regarding the advantages and disadvantages, we should have this structure, which is the first thing is the our introduction, and it should have the topic, sentence, the question that we are going to write about, and then we should introduce the specific advantages and disadvantages that we will discuss in our main body paragraphs, which is the first main body paragraph. It should include our advantages, and we should explain, we should state them from most important to least important, and then we should explain every advantage of them and provide it with an example. And then we go to the next main body paragraph, which is the second body paragraph and the third paragraph in your essay. And you should introduce the disadvantages from most important to least important, and you should explain every disadvantage of them, and then you should provide us with an example in order to clarify your point. And in conclusion, to end up with, you should summarize the main points, the main topic that we have discussed, and then you should give your own opinion and if you have an advice. We also talked about alternatives for the words advantages and disadvantages in order to use in your essay, so you will strengthen, you will make your words or your essay stronger. So we said a synonym of the word advantages is, some of the synonyms are benefits, pluses, pros, and good aspects. And synonyms for the word disadvantages are drawbacks, minuses, cons, and bad aspects. We also talked about something that is called brainstorming, and said before picking up our pens in order to start writing, my bad, we should have ideas. So brainstorming is means collecting ideas regarding the topic that we are going to write about, putting these ideas in groups regarding that relationship between them. So if we have a couple of advantages, we should group them under the group or under the list of advantages. And if we have disadvantages, we should group them under the list of disadvantages, and then we will start writing in order to end up with our opinion and an advice. We also talked about some useful expressions that we should be using regarding advantages and disadvantages, and we said some of these expressions are benefit, pros and cons, for and against, have its advantages, disadvantages, be a waste of time, and surely this one is for the disadvantages, cause more harm than, also it's used for the disadvantages, and good is a synonym for the word advantages. And because our unit is talking about crimes, so here we have also a couple of useful expressions that we may use when writing our essay. And some of them are: the punishment fits the crime, a fine, a prison sentence, a warning, تحذير, alright, community service, be sentenced to months, years in prison, be guilty or innocent of, be let off with a warning, break the law, commit a crime, tackle or prevent a crime. After we're done with our revision in here, we will take exercise G from your student's book and we will discuss it together. We will have a sample regarding it because you guys will be writing your own essays regarding advantages and disadvantages. I will give it to you as a homework, but do not worry, I'll give you enough time in order to write. But let us first explain exercise G and have a sample regarding it in order to know how to write our essay in here. So the instruction is: read the exam close up and make a plan for the exam task below. So here we are having a task and we are going to firstly have a plan, because you cannot write without having a plan, without having in mind the ideas that you are going to write about in your introduction, in your body paragraph, and in your conclusion. Remember to brainstorm, as we said now, for ideas and then to group them for the disadvantages and advantages, and then use the useful expressions to help you, the ones that we just revised. So I would like a student to read the exam task for me. So let me see hands in here. Yalla, I'll have Farah, go ahead, dear.
Your English teacher has asked you to read the extract from an article below and then to write an essay. Do I read the extract?
Yes.
Years ago, people who committed their first crime were given a prison sentence. Doing this meant people were less likely to offend again. Maybe today's young criminals would mend their ways if they were given longer sentences. Write an essay discussing the pros and cons of giving long sentences to first-time offenders.
Thank you, dear. So here we have an extract from an article, okay, and we have to write an essay discussing the advantages and disadvantages, the pros and cons of giving long sentences to first time offenders. What's the meaning of that? It means that to give a hard or a tough punishment, okay, for the people who commit their first crime. Is it an advantage or is it a disadvantage for these people? Let us go to the sample in here. Okay, just a minute, please. Okay. All right. Let's all now look at the example in here, and I would like some or a student to read the plan. What are we going to write in our essay? in paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3, and paragraph 4. And I'll have, let me see in here, yeah, Mariana Khlifat.
Yes, teacher. Suggested answer plan. Paragraph 1 introduce
Plan,
the
plan.
topic. Plan.
Yes.
Paragraph 1 introduce the topic. The topic to be discussed. Paragraph 2 discuss the arguments for
Arguments.
arguments for giving harsh sentences to first time offenders. Paragraph 3 discuss the arguments against giving harsh sentences to first time offenders. Paragraph 4 sum up and state your opinion.
Your opinion. Thank you, dear. Yes. So here in paragraph 1, which is the introduction, what should I do? I should introduce the topic I am going to discuss. So here we should look carefully at the question and the main topic, and then I should introduce it. I should put it in a sentence in order to let the reader know what I am talking about. In paragraph 2, which is the body paragraph, and it consists of two paragraphs. The first one is about the arguments for, and we said that the word for here is a synonym for the word advantages. So in the first paragraph regarding the body, okay, we should discuss the arguments for giving harsh sentences or hard or tough punishments for the people who committed crimes, all right, for the first time. So to first time offenders. And in paragraph 3, the word against here is a synonym for the word disadvantages. So we should discuss the arguments against giving harsh sentences to first time offenders. And in our fourth paragraph, which is the conclusion, I should sum up, make a summary of my topic, sentence or of my topic regarding what I discussed, and then I should place my opinion, my own opinion, and there is no right or wrong answer because it's your point or it's my point of view. And if I have an advice, I should give an advice regarding the topic I discussed. Now we'll go to our essay in here, and I'd like a student to read the first paragraph for me, which is the introduction. Let me see hands in here, and then we'll discuss it together. Yeah, Zena.
Yes, teacher, but before I read, teacher, I want to ask you something.
Go ahead, dear.
Teacher, when we in the plan we said that we should give detail to the advantages and disadvantages.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Teenage.
because okay, let me explain here. Because you cannot have details in the introduction. It is an introduction. You just have to introduce your topic, but you give the detail for the argument, for the advantages and for the disadvantages, and that should be in your body paragraphs.
Okay.
Um,
Should I start reading?
yes, dear.
Teenage crime is a fact of life. The question is, though, would today's young criminals mend their ways more easily if they were given harsher sentences for a first offense?
Thank you, dear. So here, let's all look at our introduction. We started with teenage crime is a fact of life. So teenagers, they commit crimes, okay, and it's a fact of life. The question is, our topic is, what we are going to discuss is, would today's young criminals mend their ways? Would they stop? Here, the term mend their ways, we said that in order to control or stop or prevent, okay, doing wrong things, okay, more easily if they were given harsher sentences harder or tougher punishments for the first crime they commit, let us see the advantages and disadvantages of harsher sentences. I would like a student to read the first body paragraph in here. Yeah, Juan.
Firstly, there are some benefits to harsh sentences. People should be punished for committing a crime, so a harsh sentence teaches the offender that what he did was wrong. Furthermore, if young people know that there is a harsh punishment for a certain crime, this may prevent from uh, this may prevent them from committing the crime.
Thank you, dear. So here, because we are starting our paragraph, we started with the connecting word firstly. Firstly, there are some benefits, and we said that benefits is a synonym for the word advantages to harsh sentence. So what are the advantages for the harsh sentences? Let us see. People should be punished for committing a crime, so they should be punished, okay, for commit. So a harsh sentence teaches, what does a harsh sentence teach? People who commit their first crime, the offender, that what he did was wrong. So here the advantage in our case, okay, teaches the offender, the one who committed the crime, that he did something wrong. Furthermore, if young people know that there is a harsh punishment for a certain crime, this may prevent them, this may stop them, this may eliminate them from committing the crime. So before thinking of doing a crime, they will think that if I, okay, did something wrong, if I commit a crime, I will be given a harsh punishment, so I shouldn't make a crime. So this is an advantage. Let's go to the second paragraph in here regarding your body paragraphs, and I'll have, yeah, Noor, read please.
On the other hand, giving first-time offenders harsh sentences advantage. Someone who has committed only one crime is sent to prison, they will learn from other criminals. They also find it hard to find work later if they have a prison record.
Thank you, dear. So let's go to the third paragraph in our essay in here. And we started it with on the other hand. And here we are contrasting. As we said yesterday, we are contrasting the man between the advantages and disadvantages. So giving first time offenders harsh sentence has its disadvantages. How is that? Let us explain it in here, ya Zena. As we said, we have to put the details, we have to explain, okay, in the body paragraphs. If someone who has committed only one crime is sent to prison, they will learn from other criminals. How is that? Because we do not know the criminals who are in jail. تمام? So he might learn more about crimes from them. Moreover, they will also find it hard to find work later if they have a prison record. So here we are having another disadvantage, and we discussed this yesterday. We said that if a person has a prison record or a police record, okay, a lot of employers won't employ him or her, okay, because they will say that he's or she's a bad person. So employers won't employ them if they apply for jobs. Let's go to our conclusion in here, and I'd like Diala Mazahre to read.
In conclusion, I think harsh sentences should be given for serious crimes. If the crime is not so serious, a warning or community service might be the punishment which fits the crime. Consequently, the offender will think twice about breaking the law in the future.
Thank you, dear. So here in conclusion, last but not least, okay, at the end, you should place your opinion. I think harsh sentences should only be given for serious crimes, okay, such as killing, okay, kidnapping, maybe, okay. If the crime is not so serious, a warning or community service might be the punishment which fits the crime, okay, in order not to reach the disadvantages. Consequently, or as a result, the offender will think twice about breaking the law again, breaking the law in the future. With that, I'll be done with explaining the lesson and the sample regarding our essay in here. And now, please, after the class, revise the explanation, the videos. And if you guys have any question regarding it, please ask me, because you guys are going to have a homework. Okay, and I will place it to you later on regarding writing your own essay regarding the advantages and disadvantages. And in the meantime, we will go to the exercises in your students' book, and we'll start with solving them. And if we didn't have time to finish them, we will continue tomorrow. But now let's all go to your students' book to page 144 and start doing our exercises. So here we have the first exercise and the instruction of it. What are the advantages and disadvantages of community service? So we are going to talk about community service if we commit a crime as a form of punishment. So committing or community service as a form of punishment. Okay, we are going to discuss the advantages and disadvantages regarding this kind of or this form of punishment. Look at these ideas and write A for advantage and D for disadvantages. So here we have a couple of advantages and disadvantages regarding having the community service as a form of punishment if the person commits a crime. So who would like to start with the first one in here? And I'll have, let me see, يلا يا عامر.
Yes, teacher. It can make criminals think crime isn't serious. Mm, it's an advantage.
How is it an advantage?
Mm,
It can make criminals think that a crime isn't serious. So they will make crimes again. So is it an advantage or
no,
disadvantage?
disadvantage.
Yes, it's a disadvantage, dear. Thank you. Let's go to number 2 in here. And I'll have Yusuf. Yusuf.
Teacher, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, it can put citizens at risk. It's a disadvantage.
Yeah, Alec. Thank you, dear. Yes, it's a disadvantage. Let's go to number 3 in here. يلا يا Vicky.
Yes, teacher. Uh, let's cut person cost.
It cuts prison costs.
Advantages.
It is an advantage. Yes, thank you, dear. Let's go to number 4 in here, and I'll have. Let me see. Do we have new students? No. Okay, go ahead, Yazena.
It allows people to stay with their families. It's an advantage.
Thank you, dear. And the last one will be for, do we have new hands? No? Okay, go ahead, yeah. Natalie, yes. Natalie?
Yes, teacher, it helps society, it's an advantage.
It is an advantage. Yes, thank you, dears. Let's go to exercise B in here. Read the writing task below and then tick the things in the list that you will do in order to write an essay. Farah, read the extracts in here.
Your English teacher has asked you to read the extract from an article below and then to write an essay. In the past, criminals were either sent to prison or given a fine, depending on how serious their crime was. Today, doing community service is an alternative from of punishment, form of punishment. Uh, is it a good way to deal with young offenders, though? Write an essay discussing the pros and cons of community service for young offenders.
Thank you, dear. So here, let us look at the extract that we have. In the past, criminals were either sent to prison or given a fine depending on how serious their crime was. So they committed a crime and they either were sent to prison or they were given a fine. Today, okay, that was in the past. Today, doing community service is an alternative form. And we said that the word alternative means, what does the word alternative
بديل.
mean?
Deal.
بدائل.
بديل يا عيني عليكي. For a form of punishment. So instead of giving them a fine or sending them to a prison for not serious crime, they may be doing a community service as a punishment. So is it a good way? Okay, do we have advantages for that or not? We have to write an essay discussing an essay, writing an essay, discussing the pros and cons, the advantages and disadvantages, the good or bad aspects of community service as a form of punishment for young offenders, Let's see number one, and here we have to tick the things that we are going to discuss in our essay in here. Let's have, yeah, Farah, okay, can you start?
Yes, write an article. Do not tick it.
Yes, why? Because we have to write what?
An essay.
An essay. Thank you, dear. Yes. Number two, and I'll have in here, Yanur.
Discuss prison in detail. No.
I can't hear you, dear.
Discuss prison in detail. Don't take it.
All right, don't, because we're not talking about prisons. We're talking about something else. Let's see what we are talking about in sentence number three, and I'll have Juan.
Focus on community service. Yes.
Yes, thank you, dear, because here they said that we have to today doing community service is an alternative form, and they are asking the question and they want us to discuss the pros and cons regarding community service. Thank you, dear. Let's go to number four in here, and I'll have Natalie one more time.
Discuss the advantages of community service. Yes.
Thank you, Zaina. Next.
Discuss the disadvantages of community service. Ticket.
Thank you, dear. And Yusuf, six.
Give your opinion on the issue. Yes.
Yes, because we have to give our opinion in conclusion. We have to, after summing up, after giving our summary or the summary of the topic, we have to give our opinion, and then if we had an advice. Thank you, dears. Let's check them. Yes, that was correct. And let's go to exercise see in here, but I think that we do not have enough time in order to continue it, unfortunately. So it's okay, we will keep it for next time. But please, please, please revise what we took for the last couple of days, yesterday's and today's class. And if you guys have any question, because you guys will be given a homework in order to write your own essay regarding the advantages and disadvantages. And for tomorrow's class, before Easter, before your vacation regarding Easter, we are going to continue the exercises from the students and workbook regarding the writing section. So please prepare them and be ready in order to participate in tomorrow's class. And I want to remind you of one last thing for today, which is your quiz. So please be ready. It is at 1 o'clock, and I hope you a good luck. And for now, I'll leave you in order to go to your next class. So have a good day and good luck in your exam.